We're going to go ahead and look at masks in Premiere. By using a mask, you can go ahead and isolate certain parts of an image. This works really well when you want to combine multiple tracks on top of each other. In this example, I have two video tracks. Our first video clip is this clip of two surfers on the beach. I've already set in and out points for this particular clip. My second clip is just drone footage of a person on a surfboard. And as you can see, they're just in the water like so. So what I want to do is I'm going to use a mask to isolate the woman's face. And we're going to place this woman over the upper right-hand corner of the surfer clip. So we'll basically be able to see both clips at the same time. In order to do this, we're going to need to create a mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the clip of the two surfers on the beach. I'm going to open up my effect controls and we're going to go to the opacity section. In the opacity section, we're going to create a mask, and we can create an elliptical mask, a rectangular mask, or we can do a Bezier custom mask. I'm going to just create an elliptical mask. And when I do that, you can see that now the only section of the two people is the area where the mask exists. We can go ahead and move the mask to a different location. So we're going to place it on top of the woman's head, and we can expand the mask out to make it a little bit bigger if we need to, like so. In addition to altering the size of the mask, you can add a feather, which is going to soften the edges or blur the edges. You can also go ahead and control the opacity of the mask. So if we lower that down, we'll have a somewhat transparent type of effect. And we can go ahead and expand the mask, which will increase or decrease the size of the mask. I'm going to reset this back to 0. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and play my clip with the mask. And as you can see, when I rewind to the beginning, the mask is no longer on the woman's head. So if I move it to the woman's head and now we play, you'll see because she is moving, the mask is basically going to lose track of keeping her face in frame. We can alter this by adding manual keyframes to the mask path. But in Premiere, we can go ahead and use something called mask tracking, which will allow Premiere to automatically follow the object as it moves around from one frame to another. In order to do this, you're going to want to turn on keyframing for the mask path. But before we do that, let's place our playback head at the beginning of the clip. Then I'll go ahead and turn on keyframing for the mask path. I'm going to come to the wrench icon right here, and you can choose position, position and rotation, position, scale and rotation. I'm just going to leave this at position. And then what we're going to want to do is make sure preview is checked. And now if we click the play button right here, what's going to happen is Premiere is going to run through the tracking process. And it is going to look at the face and analyze the video, and it's basically going to set down a slew of keyframes. So if you keep your eye on this area of the effect control, you can see how it's filling with what looks like a rectangle. If we zoom in, we will find that this is just a series of keyframes. So Premiere is actually making multiple keyframes for us. This process may take a little bit of time because Premiere is basically analyzing where the person's face is and setting a keyframe for every particular location. So I'll go ahead and let this run, and then we'll go ahead and see what the results look like. If we take a look at what the mask looks like now, you'll see that it does a pretty good job of keeping track of the woman's face as she is moving about on the screen. Now that I have the mask in place, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some feathering to soften the edges, which will create a more blurred effect, and I'm going to go ahead and create a little bit more expansion. Then what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to select this entire clip, and I want to move the clip to the upper left-hand corner. We'll go to the motion area and we can adjust the position of the clip by moving these sliders. So I'm going to position the woman's head over here in the right hand area of the screen. If we play now, you'll see that both items are going to be moving and her head is going to appear on top of the surfer at the bottom. This can create interesting types of layering types of composites by using masks in Premiere.